Welcome to But I'm a Lesbian, the podcast where we serve alt baddie sass, queer film reviews, and everything in between. Whether you are a baby gay
or a queer elder, we're here, we're queer, and we're diving deep into all things lesbian. We're your hosts, Caitlin
and Angelina.
Get ready for some sapphic serotonin. We are so excited. I said this last week. I say this a lot.
We're so excited every week.
I know. Even if it's a bad movie, I'm excited to talk about it because it's fun.
Yeah.
But we're excited about this one. This was also a much requested movie. This is a classic now. It is from 2006. So this movie is from when you were a child, and I was technically a child. I was 16. But I remember this time very well because I was a teenager. Okay, so this movie is from 2006. It's the lesbian rom-com Imagine Me and You. This film stars Piper Perabo, who I feel like at this time was kind of typecast as a lesbian because she was also in Imagine Me and You in the early 2000s. And Lena Headey, who I didn't really know who she was, but she's very popular because of Game of Thrones, but I never watched Game of Thrones.
I used to remember her from like clips, but I never watched her in anything else. You know, so I mean, like I knew of her, but not like, oh my God, like she's so good in this other than this movie.
Yeah, I never watched Game of Thrones. And I remember when it was really popular, people were always like, oh my God, you need to watch it. But I refused to watch it because of apparently there was like a incestuous rape scene. And I read about it in a feminist magazine when it first started. And I was like, nah, fuck that. I will never support this show. So I don't know. I know people are really big fans of it. And that was probably like one messed up thing that happened in a sea of other things that were really good and entertaining. But I never watched it because of that.
I also heard of incest, but I didn't know about that.
Yes, it was like the brother and sister that they were together, but then she like gave birth and she didn't want to do sex with him because probably she had just given birth and he like forced her.
Oh,
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but this is what
you read
I read in Bitch or Bust, one of those, because I was really into those at that time. Anyway, Lena Headey is in it. She is very pretty. And this film talks quite a bit about the concept of love at first sight. Like they really do talk about it over and over.
Like in almost every scene.
Yeah, they're like, we just really, but I think it's also because they're really trying to sell, like this was 2006 and this was a pretty mainstream movie and it was about gay people. So I don't know, they kept trying to sell like, it's just like if you saw a really hot guy and you were like, I love him. I don't know. But I wanted to ask, do you believe in love at first sight, Angelina?
I think some people can definitely be like, okay, I saw my partner and I knew that I loved them and I wanted to marry them and be with them. I believe that's valid. However, that was not the case for me. I was attracted to my partner, but I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm in love, because that would be kind of crazy to me. I would be a red flag. And if someone told me that, I'd be like, whoa, I'm not going to date you.
Oh my God.
So thankfully, Yami's not like that either.
Yeah.
But I think it's cute in theory, like in movies like this.
Yeah.
What about you?
It is very rom-com, the concept. I think I don't really believe in love at first sight. I believe that you can fall in lust at first sight. Like you can be like, this person's really hot. I really want to get to know them, or I want to do stuff with them. I know like a lot of people are like that, you know, like I've talked to think about like friends I've hung out with where, because this is how I realized I think I'm more like demisexual because I'm only attracted to people once I know them. Yeah. But I have a lot of friends that are like, damn, I want to fuck that guy. And I'm like, oh.
You're like, oh.
Okay. So I believe that there's like lust at first sight. You can have like a really intense attraction to someone, like, but I don't think that you can fall in love with them at first sight. And I also think a lot of that, like what people might think of as love at first sight, I don't know. I think it has to do with that person being like a really magnetic, charismatic person. Like maybe a lot of people feel like that about that certain person. You know?
Like they're drawn to them.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
somebody that is just like a Shane. They just are like, whoa, like this
like,
person's so mysterious and interesting. I don't know, but I don't believe in love at first sight. I do believe in like the invisible string theory, which we've talked about, because I feel like we have both experienced that. And I think we talked about it when we talked about like our like love stories, but like we both went to school with our partners
in the PE class.
Yes, and had PE with them and then reconnected years later.
Yeah, like, literally, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's weird. So I feel like it's like if someone is meant to be in your life, maybe you can kind of tell that in a way, but I don't know. I don't know. It's all wild, but I don't really think you can just like love someone. I don't know. It's also hard because I used to watch a lot of Catfish and people would be like, I'm in love with her. And I'm like, you never met her. But they're like, but I've been talking to her for 6 years and I feel like I love her. But then it turns out to be a totally different person, you know? So like, were you really in love with them, or you were in love with like the concept of who you thought they were? I don't know. I have met people from online before, but I have not fallen in love with them before I knew them. Anyway, that was interesting. I was curious because I was kind of thinking you might be like, yeah.
Like, and I believe in love at first sight.
Yes. Okay.
Yami's watching this at home like, what the fuck?
Rude.
She's like, wait, what? No, that would be kind of crazy.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah.
So moving on. Do you have any hot takes or burning desires that you want to share about this movie?
Yes. Oh, I remember when I first watched this movie and then again for this episode, I remember thinking that Heck wasn't such a bad person. I didn't think he was a bad person then, but I put he was okay for a man character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think, you know, when I had first watched it, I was just like, oh my God, they need to get him out of here. He's not bad, but I'm like, he just needs to leave. Like, he clearly knows that, like, you know.
Yeah, you're like, obviously they're meant for each other. Yeah. So he needs to just get out.
Yeah. I was like, he needs to go. What is he doing?
Yeah.
But then I felt bad for him, but then, you know, he was fine. So
I know.
What about you?
I said I feel bad for Heck. Yeah. I feel like he really loved Rachel, and it's sad, but I think in the end he realized, like, I don't know, I think there's been other movies with this type of concept where, like, would you really be happy if the person that you love stayed with you even though you knew that they love someone else more and they're unhappy with you? Like, if you really loved them, you would want them to be truly happy, and I feel like he realizes that at some point.
Yeah.
I also wrote, even though I said I feel bad for Heck, I don't understand why he's friends with Cooper, and I don't understand why anyone would be friends with Cooper because he's disgusting and I hate him.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me think maybe Heck is not that great of a guy, because why is he friends with such a tool?
Yeah. He's just like, oh, that's my friend. At least that's not me.
Cooper.
But you are the company that you hang around with.
Yeah, you're the company you keep. Yeah. If you choose to have somebody like that be in your wedding, you must be very close to them. Yeah. And he is a piece of shit.
He is. He's actually disgusting.
And I also don't understand why Luce decided to be friends with him either.
Neither did I.
But then I thought maybe it's because she knows that he is also friends with Rachel. So she's like, this is my way to stay still close to Rachel. But I'm like, he was so gross. He kept trying to like fuck her and say gross stuff. And I was like, ew, why would she be friends with him? I don't know. Also, I feel like this goes back to me thinking, well, this was 2006. They were trying to make like lesbians approachable. So they're like, look, lesbians aren't mean. They'll be friends with you.
She's so nice. Even though he's like harassing her, she'll still be your friend.
Hangs out with him.
She's just like, it's not going to happen, but we can be friends. And I'm like, no way would that actually happen. Why would you want to be friends with somebody that's weirdo. Disgusting like that?
Yeah. Okay. So weird. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we will go through the recap. So while we're out, do some I cannot talk today, girl. Or yesterday. I don't know. Anyway, do some research on your favorite types of flowers while we're out, because Luce owns a flower shop. Just a hint if you haven't watched the movie. See you soon. Welcome back to But I'm a Lesbian. This week, we are discussing Imagine Me and You.
Yes. Okay. So, the film begins with a woman getting ready for her wedding. Meanwhile, another woman is at a flower shop. This is Luce. Yes. Since we said she owns a flower shop. She's taking an order and she's getting her car ready because she's leaving to go to a wedding to deliver flowers. Oh my God. Can we guess whose wedding she's going to be at? So her name is Luce and she arrives to the wedding. She introduces herself to the groom, Heck. And as Luce is like making friends with the people at the wedding, Rachel, the bride, is like on her way to the thing. And then she stops at McDonald's because she has to pee. So she's like, oh my God, hold on. But as she gets there, she's walking down the aisle with her dad. And she just happens to like turn. And so is Luce is walking by and they make eye contact. And it is very powerful. It's like an intense moment because she's just like, whoa. And then she like
love at first sight.
Yeah, it was love at first sight. It seemed that way for both of them because they both were like, oh my God. And then she like turns and she keeps walking. And I just thought that was so funny. Like when I had first saw it, I'm like, wow, that's the moment that she's literally going to get married.
Yes. Okay. So I saw this movie a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I just rewatched it for this. For some reason, I made it in my mind that she was about to get married and that she doesn't actually get married and they like call off the wedding. So I made that up. She is getting married. Like
that sounds like another
when she meets her. Yeah, I made
that sounds like another
story.
Lesbian movie. Yeah. But no, she does get married to Heck. Then they celebrate and everyone's having a good time. And Luce goes over to meet Rachel. And Rachel's at the punch bowl. And she's just like, oh, hi, I did your flowers. Which I feel like it's kind of weird to me because neither Heck or Rachel knew her. But I'm like, okay, so who hired her? Like, did the parents hire her to do the flowers? Because she's like, oh, I didn't know. Like, I don't know.
I feel like when people are like rich and have like weddings, I feel like oftentimes – do they have like a wedding planner, like that movie with Jennifer Lopez?
True.
So maybe they hired a planner. The planner hired Luce, and so they don't know. Or maybe it's the parents. I don't know.
Could be, right? Because it seemed like a very big event.
Yeah.
So
it was fancy.
Yeah. So they are introduced and Rachel tells Luce that she dropped her ring in the punch bowl. And so Luce is like, oh my God, your wedding ring? And I feel like that's a sign that she's not meant to be married because he didn't even get the ring size right, but also it fell in the punch bowl.
Literally the day they got married.
The day they got married. And she was just like, oh my God. So Luce is helping her get it out. And Cooper, the best man, asks Luce to dance. And she accepts for some weird reason. And he's like,
because lesbians aren't mean. They're nice.
Yeah,
and
she's
they
so
will
friendly.
Entertain straight men, apparently.
I was like, because I don't remember her being that nice to him. In my head, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, she's definitely meaner to him. But I was very surprised that she wasn't.
Really nice.
She was so fucking nice. I was like, what? So she does dance. She dances with him. She dances with him. I can't speak either.
She do dance.
She do be dancing.
She do be dancing with him.
And he's flirting with her. And so they're passing Rachel and Heck. And Rachel's like looking at her like, oh, okay. So as they're doing their speeches, Luce goes home. And the next day, Rachel stops by at Luce's shop to thank her and invites her to dinner with her and Heck, of course. And so Luce is like, yeah, sure. Like, of course, I'll go to dinner with you guys. So at an auction, Rachel tells Heck that she has a plan to set up Coop and Luce because she thinks that they're going to make a good couple.
Yeah.
Because she saw them dancing at the wedding. She's like, oh my God. We're going to be friends with Luce, and she's going to be with Coop.
We're going to be, like, such great couple
friends. Oh, my God,
friends.
double dates. Yeah. And so back at home, Luce arrives to her mom's house and talks to her and is basically telling her mom, like, she wishes that her mom had a life. And I was like, wow. That's kind of rude.
Like, are you going to go on a date? Or isn't she like keep asking the mom, like pushing the mom to date?
And the mom's like, I'm depressed. Like, no. And she's just like, I really wish you had a life. And I was like, oh, okay, Luce.
Well, I don't think that's a thing to say to someone that is depressed. But maybe people didn't know that in 2006. I'm like, I don't think it helps to be like
quirky. She's like, Mom, get a life, Mom.
Yeah, I know you're depressed. I don't think you should go talk to someone about it or get medication.
She's like, go on on a date. That'll fix everything. Yeah. I was like, that's so mean. Mm-hmm. So anyways, Luz arrives to dinner with flowers and they're talking and they're getting to know each other. So as Rachel's in the kitchen doing getting water for the flowers, Heck is talking to Luz and is asking like, oh, are you dating anybody? And she's like, no. And he's like, do you plan to get married? And she's like, no, unless the laws have changed because I'm gay. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, shoot. Okay.
This is awkward because we are setting you up with a man.
Yeah. So at dinner, obviously Coop is there now, and they discuss how they know when someone is in love. So Luz believes in love at first sight, while Rachel thinks that it takes time. Like you can grow to love somebody. And so they get into like a little debate because Rachel's like, no, you're wrong. And Luz is like, no, you just know. Like, you know.
It's also pretty obviously because she is gay and had to force herself to like learn to love Heck.
Yeah. So she's like, no, I grew to learn to love Heck. He's my best friend.
She's like, everyone feels like that, right?
Yeah. She's like, we're just besties. That's it.
Yeah.
So Coop tells Heck, because Rachel and Luz have gone off, he tells him that he's going to have sex with Luz. And Heck is like, well, good luck because she's a lesbian. And then Coop says that anyone can change teams. And I think that's disgusting. I hate him so much. And Heck is just like, no. All he does is really like, he doesn't really tell him anything about his behavior. He's just like, no. That's it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But again, like you said, this is 2006 and that sucks. So
it was like more accepted to say stupid shit.
To say things like,
I mean, it's still accepted by a lot of people, but it's not accepted by me.
Exactly. And it never was.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, what the fuck?
So Luz and Rachel talk outside in the rain. And Rachel's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, haha, I kind of went off during dinner, which I didn't really think she kind of went off. She was just like, no, in her accent.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she said.
Because it's also funny because I don't know. I guess I don't know British accents, but just because I know that Piper is American, I was like, her accent sounds fake. But I thought that too. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. It's probably better than when I do an accent.
No, you do great impressions.
Oh my God.
You could do a better.
Thank you.
You have to talk in a British accent.
Hello, Poupette.
You're doing like a specific
pirate.
Yeah.
It's because there was this movie. I don't know if you've seen it. Just Go With It with Adam Sandler. Okay, when they meet, Jennifer Aniston's kids are like, "Can I do an accent?"
Yes,
and she goes, "Hello, Poupette."
Yeah,
and he's like, "No."
He's like, "Why? Well, you're British now all of a sudden?"
Yes, and why are you a pirate? Anyway, it's kind of a funny movie. I didn't think it would be that funny, but it is.
Yeah, I liked it.
I like Adam Sandler because he's funny, and he's like my weekend style icon because I always wear my basketball shorts and like look really like Adam Sandler on the weekends.
Comfy style,
but he's a Trumper, so I can't like him. Yeah. Okay, someone can fact check me. I thought it was only
Rob.
No.
Oh my God.
I feel like he was exposed as being like a Trumper.
I did not know
that. A few years ago, and I was so sad because I was like. But he's so funny. Like, I love The Waterboy.
I know.
And Big Daddy.
Oh, my God.
So many things. But maybe a lot of the movies were before that. But yeah. Rob Schneider definitely is.
Yeah, I knew Rob Schneider was.
He's coming, like, near here soon. I saw an ad for it. And I was like, ew. And then I looked in the comments. And all the comments were like, I hope he makes jokes about all the woke people. Or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's his only audience now is people like you that think it's funny to make fun of people for being woke.
Yeah.
And
I hate that. That's devastating. I don't know how I'm gonna go on with this right now.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. But okay, I'm so sorry. What were we talking about? Why did I talk about Adam Sandler?
Because the accent.
Go with it.
Yeah.
I think Piper's accent is not that good, but
I
maybe
agree.
I'm wrong.
She didn't do a good accent.
Okay.
I agree with you. So outside, they're talking. And she's just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I went off. And she's like, no, it's okay. And she starts like touching Luz because she's like, oh my God, what are you doing out here? Like, it's raining. And Luz is like, it's wonderful. Like, it's beautiful out here. And Rachel's like, oh my God, no, you're like going to get all wet. Here, have my sweater. So she gives her sweater.
She's like, I don't want you to get all wet.
Yeah. She's like, don't. Oh my God. So she gives her sweater. And then Heck is like, okay, guys, I think he is like, looking up at them, they have like a 3-story place, don't they?
They're rich.
They're rich. Like they're literally
He's
at
like,
the top, and he's like talking to them from like the
Yeah.
top, and he's like, okay, I think it's time to go because Coop wants to play like strip poker or whatever, and I just don't like. It's time for him to leave.
Yeah.
So Luce lets Coop drive her home, and he's just like still trying to like fuck her basically.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh my God, no. So they stop at a restaurant and they're talking, and he's just like, that's when she's like, no, you know what? Like, we're not going to happen, but we can be friends. And so he's just like, okay, tell me about your girl troubles, or like, tell me what's going on right now. Cause you look like there's something troubling you. And she's just like, have you ever met a person and thought that they would like be in your life, or like you just knew them already? And he's just like, he just says something about fucking them instead.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
a creepy weirdo.
yeah. And well, she's actually like opening up to him, which I'm like, okay, girl.
Why?
So I know, right? Like, why would you wrong choice? Anyways.
Yeah.
So at a store, Rachel and Heck run into Luce and her friend, and Heck tells Rachel that Luce is gay, and Luce's friend is questioning Luce for liking Rachel because she's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? She's super straight. She's like Barbie straight.
Yeah, she's like the straightest.
Yeah, she's like, really? And Luce is just like, whatever, like, forget it. And so they keep running into each other at the store, and her friend, I forgot her name, but
Edie.
Edie, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Edie. Oh my God, my bad.
Yeah. She's like, it's so important that I know this name. Edie.
Oh my God, I forgot her name. But Heck, for some reason, asked like, are you gay too? And she's just like, no, I tried with her, but like it just didn't work because I guess Heck wanted to know if like that was her girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. But they just keep running into each other at the store.
Yeah.
And
it is so awkward because does that happen to you when you see somebody at a store and then you're like, oh my God, nice to see you, bye. And then you see
run
in
into
the
them
next aisle and the
again.
next aisle. It's like, I need to just leave. I
I'm
actually
like,
didn't
one
need to buy
high was
anything.
okay.
Now it's
That's
awkward.
it.
Like, yeah. So I liked that they had that whole thing because it's relatable.
It was, yeah. And you could tell Luce was just like, oh my God. But her friend Edie's just like, oh my God, hi again.
Yes, because then they're in the checkout line at the
Yes.
same time too. It's like so silly.
I did like that. That was very.
Yeah.
And so Luce gets a call at her shop to make a delivery to a restaurant, only to find out it's Coop. And he's just like, oh my God, hey, like, I know you want to kiss me. Like, I know you want to fuck me. And she's just like, no, we can be friends. Again, for, I don't know, like the thousandth time.
Or is it, I don't think it is, but is it like a commentary on how women feel like we have to be nice to men so like they don't kill us?
Honestly,
you know, like,
yeah,
is she like,
maybe.
well, if I don't be his friend, is he gonna hate crime me? So
She
I
probably
guess I'll
thought,
just be
like,
nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my only explanation for why she would be like, yeah, we can be friends.
Yeah. Like, I literally said, ew, why are you going to be friends with this man that wants to fuck you and thinks he can switch your sexuality? But
I know.
okay.
It also makes me think of Lesbian when she
oh my
kept
God,
wanting
Austin.
to stay friends with the guy. And it's like, he obviously still wants her. Like, why you can't be friends with this guy?
He's
yeah.
so
I
ugly
hated
person.
him too. He was ugly internally.
And he's
made him
also
ugly.
like Coop, making those like jokes
Yes!
about women.
Ugh, the fish joke.
Okay, so she's making questionable decisions here,
Mhm.
being friends with Coop. But fast forward, they're at a talent show, and Luce and Rachel are watching this like kids talent show, and there's like lights that are dim, and Rachel pictures herself touching Luce's hair and like
So lesbian.
it being very intimate, but they do like kind of touch pinkies.
Yes.
So they like sit up and they're like touching the pinkies. And then she's like, oh my God. And then she snaps back into reality and the show's over and they're clapping. She's just like, oh my God, whoa. Like she got lost in Luce. And so after Rachel's like, hey, we need to like have a conversation. And like, do you have to like go right now? And Luce says no at first, but then she's like, actually, yeah, I forgot I have a delivery. So she leaves.
Yeah.
And
like,
I feel like
no.
Rachel was going to be like one of those girls. It's like, I know you're gay, but like, you know, I'm straight or something. That's what I felt like was going to happen.
You know what I felt was going to happen?
What?
I thought she was going to be like, I found out that you're gay and I also want you to know that like I have these feelings for you, but I don't know what they mean. Because I feel like she was already feeling things and then when she found out she was gay, I don't know. It's also a thing that is kind of like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times straight girls either think that if they're friends with the lesbian is going to fall in love with her.
Yeah.
Or they are like, maybe I could be gay. Maybe I like her,
Oh my
like that
God.
type of thing.
Like
And
the
it's like,
experiment.
yes, it's so weird. But the other thing that I think is important to mention, because I thought this was kind of weird, is that the reason that Luce was at that like show, that talent show, was it's Rachel's little sister, who is like 10 or something, like really made friends with Luce at the wedding. She like calls her and asks her to help her with projects and stuff. And I think that's nice, but that's also so weird. Like, why is
barely
your
met this woman.
10-year-old child calling and hanging out with a 30-year-old woman like that much that she invites her places separately?
She's just like, oh my God, she's like my big sister. But also she just met her.
And it's like, she could be a weirdo. Like, I don't know. I would be like, no, you can't. If I was the mom, I'd be like, why are you talking to this adult woman?
Like, why are you friends with her?
I'm like, maybe I could be friends with her if I thought she was nice. But I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, why are you friends? Anyway, so that I thought that was weird in the first place. Like, why is she at Rachel's little sister's thing?
Right.
Anyway.
She's like wanting to like be into their life. Like she wants to be included there.
Yes. Okay. But it also made me think of Maggie and Annie, because the daughter really wanted to be like Maggie.
She wanted that haircut.
She wanted
like
the haircut, and always
so did the mom.
Yes, and she wanted to like invite her places. So I'm like, okay. Anyway, I don't know. I just thought it was so interesting. Both of those things are interesting to me. I'm so sorry. One more thing.
No, go ahead.
The pinkies touching.
Oh yeah.
It made me think of, have you seen Sausage Party?
Yes, I have.
Okay. When they would be like, just the tips, and they would like touch their fingers. Like,
that's what it was. It was literally the tip of their pinkies.
Like the tip of the pinky.
She was just like,
so yeah, that's the last thing I'm gonna say about that. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. Also, the little sister is named Henrietta, but they call her H.
Oh yeah, because Jesus H. Christ. Didn't she make a joke about that? Yeah.
She seems to be very like, I guess, mature for her age. That's how they portray her. Whether she's like a little mini, like, I mean, obviously, she's a person, but they're just like, oh, she's like super smart. She's super
it's also because she was a very late in life baby. Like,
and the parents are older.
The parents are older.
Yeah.
And then the sister is way older. Oh my God.
It's
is this why you're so mature?
Oh my God. I hated that. I hated when people would be like, oh my God, you're just like an old soul.
Oh my God, I was going to say that you're an old
so
soul.
Mature. I'm like, am I mature, or should I just have not been here, guys? I think actually I'm like, it was a little too. I didn't at first when I watched, I was just like, oh, that's like Rachel's cousin. But they're like, no, that's her little sister.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, wow.
I think that's why they made the joke of like, oh, they call me H because my mom said Jesus H. Christ when she found out she was pregnant with me because she's like she's old. Older. But yeah, my mom was, my mom.
I thought you were gonna, okay.
No, my mom was 21 when I was born. That has nothing to do with anything. She was not older. But no, when we were watching it, my wife was like, what? She's her daughter? That's the mom? And I was like, yes, they made a point of like making like a joke about it. Like she was like a very late in life pregnancy, like a surprise or whatever. Because Rachel was already like probably like almost grown. Like
they
your
said
oldest sister.
Rachel was okay because Coop said he's like 30, so Heck is probably around the same age, and so is Rachel, right?
Yeah, and the girl is
the
like
mom
10.
Is probably like,
I don't know. She looks kind
late
of
40s.
Yeah.
I mean, she does, but she's also white. So
I know we age like bananas or like milk. You know, it's like it's so sad.
I'm like, the talent show. That's why we got into that.
Yes.
So fast forward, Rachel is at work and she's asking her friends if they believe in love at first sight. And they say no. And she's like, yeah, I agree. I don't really believe in that. But she is kind of starting to believe in that because she's thinking about Luce.
Yeah.
And so she goes to a video store. And this is like probably my favorite
Oh
scene
my God, this
ever.
is so funny.
She goes to a video store and she's like renting movies, but then as she's checking out, she sees like the adult section and she's like, she goes over and she grabs a lesbian porno.
Yeah.
And the interaction is so funny because the clerk is looking at it and she's just like, oh, and she's like, it's just for research. Like, it's just for research. And
so
she's
awkward.
like, yeah.
But she's like over explaining it makes it
like,
more
no,
like we know you just want to watch the video. You don't have to,
like you don't have to make an excuse for it.
It's for research.
She's like, no, it's for research. But then she finds out that someone didn't return it, so it's in the back, and the clerk is like, no, let me make a call. And she's like, no, it's okay, like just put it back. And the clerk is like, no, you're gonna
I'm gonna
yeah.
What did she say?
She's like, no, trust me, you want to see this one. And she like winks at her, and she's like, oh my god. And then her mom walks in.
Of all of the times for her mom to walk in, the only time she's probably ever rented porn because she's so awkward. And then her mom walks in.
And she's like, oh my God. And so she tries to hide her little video. And the clerk is just like, yeah, a customer wants, and she says like Bush something.
It's like Georgie's Bush. And it's like an American themed lesbian thing. Because it's like when George W. Bush was president. I don't know. It's so weird.
And the mom is like not listening because she sees like a cardboard cutout. And she's like, oh my God, this guy's like really attractive. And then Rachel is like over-explaining. She's like, oh, Heck is like really into history right now. So that's why I'm renting like, the mom didn't even like listen.
She was busy looking at the sexy cardboard cutout, man.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care. Also, throughout the entire movie, her and her husband, Rachel's mom and dad, they like are kind of at odds because the mom is like not liking the husband. Because I think the dad's kind of funny. He just seems like a funny guy, but the mom's just like, oh my God, he's so silly.
She had to grow to love him.
That's
probably why Rachel thinks that.
She's probably a lesbian too.
Probably.
Yeah. So she gets her videos and she goes home and she's like watching it and you can like hear the sounds, but she's just like really like looking at the TV. She's like
really doing research.
It really is for research.
She's like, so what are they doing? How did they do? Is this scissoring?
She's like, what the fuck? And so then Heck arrives and she like turns it off and she's like flustered and he's just like, oh, hey, what are you doing? And then she's like, nothing, just I rented some movies. And then he goes to see the movie and she acts like they must have gave her the wrong movie because he's like, what is this?
And he's like,
oh, well, you already have it. Do you want to watch it? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, why not? And she's like, because it just doesn't turn me on. I'm going to go return it. And then he's like, well, that makes one of us.
Yeah, he's like, I wanted to watch it.
He's like, I wanted to watch it. And so obviously her research was interrupted.
Yeah.
And so now they are at a little like fireworks show at the park and Heck is asking Ned, which is Rachel's father, how things were when he got married. So he's like basically asking her father for advice on their marriage because he's like, I don't know, like give me advice. And Ned is just like, you know what? We can talk about sports. We can talk about all these things, but don't talk to me about my daughter because all I'm going to think about is like you and her, like having sex.
Because the way he was asking it seemed like he was asking like, after you got married, did you go through a dry spell?
Yeah.
Like that type of thing.
He basically was like, was it like, he was trying to ask him that. And I'm like, why would you ask her dad that? Like, what the fuck?
That's so weird.
And he literally told him, like, I don't want to think about you and my daughter having sex. Like, we can talk about sports. We can talk about anything else, but don't ask me that.
Yeah.
And then Heck has the nerve to be like, oh my God, I have to find Rachel. And so then Rachel's mom is telling her, like, oh my God, when are you going to give me grandbabies? Because I, like, want you to get pregnant. And Rachel's like, oh my God. And so then
she's like, we literally just got married. Leave me alone, you weirdo.
I know. Rachel's just like, I cannot believe her. So then she is hugging and kissing Heck, but then she sees Luce and her mom, the mom that she wants to get a life.
She's like, I guess I'll just take you with me places to try to make you get a life.
Yeah. So she sees her and then she's like, I just want to go home. So then H runs into Luce. Again, they're weird friendship.
Yes.
She runs into Luce and is just like, oh my God, hey. And she starts talking to her. And she is like, you can have a boyfriend if you want. And she's just like, oh, well, I mean, I could, but like, I'd want like, the person I'm going to be with to be a woman. And like, I'm gay. And H doesn't she kind of gets it, but then she doesn't. Cause she's just like, oh, okay. But like, you could have a boyfriend. And Luce is just like,
doesn't she say like, it's okay. That doesn't mean you're a lesbian or anything.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to like grow up and live with my best friend and hang out with her all the time. But it doesn't mean you're a lesbian. And I'm like, no,
it's a little.
She is a lesbian. She's not getting it. But it's because she's 10. And this is maybe also part of why it's weird to be 30 and have a 10-year-old friend.
Yeah.
Because
she's just hanging out with her sister,
your niece, or like somehow like your best friend's child, but it's just so so weird to me.
She's met her at a wedding and now they're besties.
Besties.
So then we go to Heck and Rachel at their home, and Heck is asking Rachel if she's pregnant, and she's like, no. And he's like, well, do you want to try for a baby? And she's just like, no. She's like, no.
She's like, leave me alone.
She's like, I might be gay,
yeah, exactly.
so leave me alone.
I actually might leave you for a woman. So
she's like, I definitely don't want a kid.
Let's not pull a disobedience and get pregnant right before I leave you.
Yeah. So Rachel calls Luce, but she doesn't say anything. This is all on the same night. So after that whole conversation, she's just like, oh my God, let me call Luce up. But then once Luce answers, she hangs up. And then, of course, Luce calls back because she's like, oh, like somebody called me. And then Heck answers and is like, oh, hey, do you want to escort my wife to this event? Because I have work and I can't make it there. And Rachel's just like, oh my God, stop. What are you doing? And Luce is like, yeah, sure, of course. Like, of course I'll take your wife to this event. Yeah. And so
I'll also steal your girl. Like, I will take your wife.
So then Rachel's like, oh my God, you shouldn't have done that because I hardly know her. And then Heck is like, it'll be fine. So then they cut to the event and they are at a soccer game, and Luce is like, Rachel's super into it. And Luce is just like, oh my God, maybe it's her first time going to a soccer game. But Rachel is like screaming things out and she can't really scream properly. So Luce is like, let me show you how to scream properly. So she gets behind her and she starts like touching her. And she's like, you have to like go right here from your diaphragm, and you have to like make your voice echo. And Rachel's just like, okay. And then Luce screams out and
what did she
echoes.
Say? Like,
she's like,
it's like number 12 or number something, you're a wanker.
Yeah. She's just like, yeah. I'm like, I don't remember the number, but she says that and it like echoes. So it's like unrealistically loud. I said it was a very intimate moment though, because Rachel's just like, oh my God, like I love
She's
this.
like, I love having her behind me with her hands like on
her stomach.
Yeah. She's like, okay.
Oh yeah. You literally, you're a wanker number 9. And it echoes throughout the stadium. It's a number, one of those. So then after they're done with the game, they're like, do you have to go? Rachel's like, we can still hang out. What do you want to do? And Luce is like, I want to dance. And so she's like, I know what we're going to do. So they go to the arcade and they play Dance Dance Revolution. And it's really nice. They're so really good at it. Yeah. Were you ever good at those?
No, I was not good at it, but I did have like the home version with like the mat, and it was really fun. Cool. Yeah, it was so fun. Well, I was always on a weight loss journey since I was like 8 years old or something. So I was like, oh my God, this is like a way for me to lose weight. So I convinced my mom to buy me the Dance Dance Revolution. But yeah, I also I wasn't that good.
No, but you had fun,
I was so sweaty. I was like working my ass off. And then there was a phase like not that long ago, like maybe 5 years ago, where my wife and I got really into Just Dance.
Oh my God, I love Just Dance.
And it is also really fun, but also made me so sweaty. Because
it's really hard.
The one where the famous one,
Rasputin, yes.
You're like, woo.
My sister and I did that one. I literally was like, I can't breathe. Oh my God.
Hard, but it's so fun. Anyway, they were both good at Dance Dance Revolution.
They really were cute.
It also reminded me of San Junipero because at one point they went to the 2000s. I think when they were in the 2000s, they were doing the Dance Dance Revolution.
And I forgot the other girl. Yeah, she was like dancing and they found her there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that did remind me of that as well when they were dancing.
Yeah.
So they had their fun little...
So many things in this remind us of other movies.
Yeah, maybe it's like that trope. Like
I was also like, it's just because we've done so many episodes now. We're
That's
like
true.
So professional. Like, remember on episode 3 when we did this?
Season 1, episode 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I need to memorize what each of them are. Anyway, I'm so sorry. So they were doing the Dance Dance Revolution and having fun.
They were very cute. And so then they finish up with that. And on the walk home, they're talking about flowers. And Rachel wants to know what do lilies mean, because that's her favorite flower. And Luce is just like, oh my God, like she's dodging the question. Yeah. But basically lilies mean dare to love me. And so Rachel's just like, oh my God, dare to love you?
Yeah.
And Lucy's just like, yeah, anyways. So
Anyhow.
she's I feel like they thought it was a big deal.
Yeah,
and
they
then,
made it like a big deal.
Yeah, and Luce also mentions that it's her birthday that day.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Rachel's like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me anything? And she's like, oh, well, like, it's okay. Like, I had the best birthday ever.
I don't know what her sign is. I don't know what time of year this is supposed to be, but
it looks like winter, but it's also
yeah,
London,
but
so.
I don't know. Maybe she's an Aquarius.
You think Luce is?
Well, I don't know, because I'm an Aquarius and I'm all about my birthday, and so, but I don't know if that's because of my Leo rising and Leo moonness. Because
we have to know her chart.
I was just like, why is she not having like plans months before? Like, it's my birthday. Yeah. Also, I wouldn't be able to shut up. I just love to talk about my birthday.
You're like, it's my birthday.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys, it's gonna be my birthday soon. I mean, it's kind of soon. Yours is way sooner. Well, by the time this comes out, mine will be soon because yours will have passed.
Yeah, that's true.
Your birthday is in a few days from when we're filming this.
That is true.
Okay. Anywho, I was just curious because I was like, what kind of person is like, oh yeah,
she must not be an Aquarius then. She must be, or maybe, I don't know.
Maybe she's a Capricorn because Capricorns are so like serious about business and she owns her business. Maybe she's like so focused on work, but also I wonder what her Venus is in because she's very like, so like
she believes in love at first sight. Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. She's not a real person. She's a character. And we're like, we need to know her chart.
She's so quirky though. She's not like other lesbians. Even though she is like other lesbians.
So maybe she is an Aquarius because we're very much like, I'm different.
She's so different that she didn't want people to know it was her birthday.
Yeah. Okay, so it was her birthday.
She mentions it's her birthday, and Rachel's like, "Oh my god, why didn't you tell me?" But they get to Rachel's house, and literally Rachel like leans in to kiss Luce, but then stops because she's like, oh my god, there's like a train passing by and like the light, and it like kind of like makes her stop, and she's like, oh my god, okay, bye. She goes in and she like lays down next to Heck, and he's like cuddling her, and she's just like there thinking like, oh my god, what the fuck was I about to do? I was almost gonna kiss her. And so I said, oh yeah. And then Rachel the next day asked her friend if she's ever fancied a woman before. And her coworker is like, yeah, I did, but it just wasn't for me. Like, I preferred men. And Rachel's just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, all these, like, why have none of her friends asked her, like, are you in love with a woman? Like, are you falling for a woman?
Yeah, like, why are you asking these questions?
She's asking so many questions about it. But they're just like, whatever.
She's just weird. I don't know.
They're like, she's just asking things.
Just curiosity. Curiosity. Yes.
So then Heck and Rachel go to dinner, and then after they're driving home, and things are like a little tense in the car because you can tell like something's off. Like they're just like not talking. But then Rachel is like, oh my God, let's have sex in those bushes over there. And Heck is like, no. Oh,
can't we just go home?
He's like, we have a bed, like we have a place. And I forgot to mention when she was in the bathroom asking her friend if she ever fancied a woman before and realized that maybe you didn't or you did. And her friend was like, yeah, but it wasn't for me. And she's like, why? Why do you ask? And she's like, oh, no, nothing. She's like, I'm going to take Heck out to dinner tonight. So she's like wanting to like try, but also I feel like she is like, okay, no, something's wrong here. So her idea is to have sex in the bushes.
I think that they just need to like spice things up. Maybe like she's thinking maybe that's why she's feeling this way because she's bored with her sex life or something. Yeah.
Romantic encounter. And he's like, no, but she's driving. So she stops the car and he's like, oh my God, Rachel. And he's like looking for her in the woods. It's dark as fuck. And she's like hiding, and then she like scares him, and he's like, oh my God. And she's like, come on, like, let's do it here. And then she says something about the tree where like they've had sex before, like, and he's had her like up on a tree, and he's like, that must have been somebody else. That wasn't me. But they kind of like,
oh my God,
fly, like they kind of like go right past it. And he's just like, okay, well, anyways, you really want to do this? She's like, yeah, let's do it. So they're undressing, and they hear somebody behind a tree. And they're like, come out right now. But Rachel's like, come out right now. And Heck is like, yeah, come out.
Yeah.
And it's a gay couple. And they're like, sorry, we didn't want to disturb you. And they're like laughing. They're like, oh my God, we were like going to come here to have sex. And they're like, oh my God, us too.
Samesies.
They're like, yeah, us too. And they're like, okay, well, we're married. And then the gay couple's like, oh, well, we just met tonight.
Yeah, which that's when, I think I've talked about how when my wife learns a new word that she loves to use it. So she learned about cruising. And
Oh my God.
Gay men especially be like, we're going cruising at the park tonight. She's like, oh, were they cruising? I was like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
they just met and they're trying to do it in the woods.
Literally.
So yeah, scandalous.
So then they're laughing and they're like, oh my God, okay, it's time to go home now. Because, and so the next day at the flower shop, Rachel goes over to Luce and she's just like, you know what? You make me feel something that I cannot feel because I'm married. And like, basically, whatever this is, it's over. Like, I can't do this anymore. And she's like, what the fuck? And so they're in the back room talking about this. And then Rachel's just like, no, like, this is it. She barely lets Luce talk. And so then she leaves. But then she comes running back and she kisses Luce and they kiss and they make out and they're like rolling around and Luce gets like lays on the thorns of the rose.
Yeah. And we see a lot of the lower back tattoo in this scene, I think, because they're wearing low-rise jeans.
Low-rise, yeah. They both are. So it's just a lot of back. That's what it is.
Back. Yeah. It was very 2006.
It's very scandalous. Yeah. And so they're making out and then they stop and they're like laughing, giggling. And then Heck arrives and he's like, hello, Luce. And then they're like, oh my God. So then Luce is like, don't come back here. And she goes out to the front and she's like, what do you want, Heck? And he's like, to buy flowers.
Yeah, for my wife.
He's like, to buy flowers for Rachel. And she's like, oh yeah, okay, of course. Like, what kind do you want? And he's like, well, you should know, right? And he's like, lilies, they're her favorite. And so then he tells her, like, has Rachel said anything about him to her because he thinks that she's acting weird and maybe it's something that he's doing and he wants to know to either like change his behavior or like if he's doing something to hurt her. And Luce looks very torn up about it because she's like, oh my God, like she hasn't mentioned anything, but also I just kissed your wife.
Yeah, she's in the back.
She's literally in the back. And then she's just like, no. And then he's like, okay, I'm sorry for like dumping all this on you. And, and she's like, here, these are on the house. You don't have to pay anything for it. And so then she goes to the back and Rachel's gone. I don't know how she got out through the window, I think. But that window was like literally this big.
Wow.
Open.
It pays to be really skinny, especially in the early 2000s.
She slid right out the window.
Yeah.
And Luce goes off. She chases after her and she's like, hold on. And Rachel's like, no, I cannot do this. Like, you heard him in there. He thinks that like he's doing something, even though he's not. Sad. It's me. And so they basically break up and they're just like, Rachel's like, I can't do this anymore. And
yeah, like nothing else
can happen. She's like, I can't do this. Like, I have to stay with him. And Luce is like, well, don't forget me. And they hug goodbye. And so Heck is at his job and his boss, Rob, who's also a douche as well. Because he literally on Rachel's wedding day told her like, oh yeah, like I know you're not a virgin or something. And she was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I blocked that out.
It's a weird. He's like a weirdo. I know. I had to rewind. I'm like, did he say that? I don't remember that. But then he did. He was just like, if I know something about Heck, it's you're not a virgin. And she was like, huh? And she also hates him too. Heck also hates his boss. And he's like, I'm going to quit one day. And that is that day because he's like, I'm tired of you lying and making me lie to clients. And I just hate this. And he quits. And so he goes home. Meanwhile, Luce is heartbroken and she's crying to her mom because she says the girl that she's in love with is in love with someone else. And so the mom's trying to comfort her. And then at home, Rachel tries to tell Heck how she feels. And basically, like, whatever she did is, like, over. But he literally gets home and lays on the couch and he's, like, falling asleep. Meanwhile, she's just like, I didn't mean for it to happen, but, like, I went crazy over somebody that was not you. But it's over now. Like, I choose you. I want to be with you. And she turns around and sees that he's sleeping. And she's like, no. Like, I can't say this, like, more than once.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, but I just want you to know, even though he's sleeping, she's still telling him this, like, I love you, but I'm gonna be with you. And she like covers him. So then she walks away and he like throws the covers off and he like turns, which obviously he was never asleep and he's very upset about this, but he says nothing. And so then at the shop, Coop comes, another reason to hate him. He confronts her and he's yelling at her and he's like, "You dumb slut."
Yeah.
I was like, "Excuse me?"
I was like, he's a dumb slut here.
Yeah, he's like, "You know what? Heck called me in the middle of the night telling me that Rachel is in love with somebody else, but he didn't say who because she didn't say who, but I put two and two together and it had to be you." And he's like yelling at her and Lucy's just like, "Oh my God, whatever." She should have said more to him because what the fuck? The audacity of him.
I know. I hate him.
I know. And so she throws him out because she's like, "Fuck you." And then at Rachel's parents' house, they're literally singing happy birthday to her.
Mhm.
And Heck is sitting on the couch and is just like, "I can't do this anymore." And he's just like, "I have to leave." She's like, "What are you talking about?" And basically he's just like, "I can't deal that you are in love with somebody else." And her parents are like, "What the fuck is he talking about? That you're in love with somebody else?"
Mhm.
So he leaves and she chases after him and she's like, "No, like you don't understand. Like I chose you. I want to, like I'm here for, like whatever it was, it's over." And he's like, "No, like I want you to be happy, even though it's not with me. And I can't stand the thought of you just like settling for me because I would feel guilty that I'm like holding you back from actually being happy."
Mhm.
And so basically he dumps her and he kisses her on the forehead and he leaves. And so she's just like, "Oh my God." And she goes back inside and she tells her parents that she's in love with Luce, but it doesn't matter because it can't happen now. And they're like, "Oh my God." The dad is very nice and gives like this little speech to her. And the mom's just like, "You're in love with a woman and you're a woman." And she's like, "Yes." And so the mom
Yes.
is like, "Okay." She's like trying to wrap her head around it. But the dad's speech is really nice and it inspires Rachel to go after Luce. And H, which is so weird again, too, now that I really think about it, she
Mhm.
got a call because she asked Luce if she could take her on like a play date, whatever. And Luce is like, "No, I'm going on a holiday for a while." So H is the one who knows that Luce is not there and she's going to
Yeah.
be gone. And so Rachel's like, "Okay, I have to go after her." And so the parents drive her to go see Luce. And she stops at the flower shop and Luce's mom is taking over for her while she's gone. And she's like, "Is Luce here?" And she's like, "So you're the girl?" She's like, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "But you have a husband." And she's like, "No, actually, I don't. And I'm available and I love your daughter." And so the mom also gets in the car with them and they're chasing after Luce to go find her. And Rachel calls Luce and Luce is like, "No, I don't want to do this. I can't talk to you." But she hears like singing, this guy singing. Oh my God, what is that song?
I don't remember what he's
But
singing.
he's singing like a
he's
romantic song.
on a bike.
Yeah. And so then Luce hangs up on Rachel and Rachel's just like, "Oh my God," because they're stuck in traffic. Both of them are stuck in traffic. But she's like, "I recognize that singing." So she gets out of the car and she stands on top of it and she's like, "Luce, Luce." She's like yelling for her. And then she uses the technique that Luce taught her to scream and shouts out, "You're a wanker, number 9." And then Luce is like, "What the fuck?" She gets out and Luce also is standing on top of the car and she's like, "I can do this. Like, I can do it." So then they run to each other and they kiss, which is like, they're not that far away, which makes me laugh. So I don't know how Luce didn't hear her, but like,
I don't know.
you know what I mean? So they kiss. But before that, she had told her dad, like, "I knew within 3 seconds of seeing Luce that I was in love with her." So she did believe in love at first sight all
That's
along.
why she was so aggressive against
That's
it because she
why.
was trying to fight like her own. Whoa, that made her own
A sound effect.
feeling. Yeah.
And so, yeah, so they kiss and it's very romantic. And I'm like, "Oh, how cute." And then it shows H meeting Heck at their place because they left the daughter there. And the mom is like, "We'll talk about all this if you want when we get back, but we're going to help your sister find her true love." And Heck is like distraught. He's like sobbing and he's like confiding in H, which is also weird. And I think they just think she's mature for her age. And she's giving him advice and she's like, "It's okay. You'll be happy." And then he says this weird thing, or H says it too, where she's just like, or he says like, "I should have married you in,
Yeah, I
in 10
know.
years or something." And she's like,
It's so
8 or
weird.
10. And then she's like, well, in 10 years or whatever. It was like weird. I mean, I get it was meant to be lighthearted, but also it's weird. I'm like, why would you say that?
It is weird because there are a lot of men that do date
Yeah.
girls that they met when they were like 10 and they're like, well, she's
Yeah.
18 now.
Yeah.
My dad is like that.
Oh,
he talked
gosh.
about some girl that he knew when she was a kid, and then now
gosh.
he is trying to date her as like a 19-year-old. And I'm like, that's disgusting. So a
Oh
lot of
my
men are like
God.
that. Apparently people think it's okay, especially in 2006.
Yeah, especially in
know.
2006. They thought it was okay.
Yeah.
But he's like sobbing to her, telling her the story and saying those weird things.
Mhm.
And so she comforts him and she's like, it's okay. It'll be okay. And so on a plane, Heck meets a woman and he's like writing a book, and the woman's very clearly interested in him. And then he's like, oh my God. And then Coop is shown holding a baby. So
yeah, what the fuck was that?
I guess he really settled down
or
and
he
had
just
a
got
baby.
someone pregnant, but he's not like a.
He's like holding the baby
he's
like
not
he's a
being
proud
a-
father. And
yeah.
I'm like, you'd be a shitty father, honestly.
I
You're
know.
a shitty person.
Maybe he'll change. And it also makes me think of that thing how people are like, once you have a daughter, you'll be a better man because you'll understand.
Ugh.
It's like, why should you have to have a daughter to
be a
care
better
about
person.
women?
Yeah. Like,
but that was kind of what it's giving. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl.
Because
but
he's like
oh,
a
he's gonna be
playboy,
better
right?
now. Yeah. So stupid.
So Heck gets to meet that woman, and then Coop has a mysterious baby, and then Rachel and Luce are happy. They're sitting on a bench, so everyone gets a happy ending. Even though I only really care about Rachel and Luce.
Yeah.
And that is the end.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think a reason that so many people like this movie is because it's relatively rare, especially in the early 2000s, for there to be a lesbian couple that stay together.
Yeah.
Like often it's like Lost and Delirious where somebody dies, you know,
Literally
or
Piper.
yes,
Yeah.
or it's something where like, you know, they have an affair and then they both go back to their husbands or something like that. So it is really good that they got to be together. So it is a happy ending. Okay, so it's time for Munch Merge Murder. So the options are Luce, Rachel, and Edie, the friend from the grocery store.
I know that I almost forgot.
Yeah, I was like, it's
I'm like, what's her name? What's her name? Do you know yours?
Well, you know what? Okay, so I feel like I felt like I was kind of attracted to Edie. That's why I put her on here. Also, there weren't that many other female characters.
I know, other than the moms.
Mom.
The moms, we could have put the moms.
That's true. I don't know. I'm not one of those lesbians that is really attracted to older women. Also, I'm now like a middle-aged woman. So I'm like, I don't know how much. I'm not Sarah Paulson, okay? I'm not like, I don't know. Some people are. Like I've said, my wife is very attracted to people that are older. I'm attracted to people my own age.
You're like, that is rare.
I like that. So anyway, point being, I thought that Edie was kind of cute. And so I think that this makes it a little hard because I don't want to kill one of the main characters for someone. But I also, I don't know. I feel like I don't like Rachel that much.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, wait. Okay, I guess, okay. I think that I would probably merge with Luce.
Mm-hmm.
I would munch Edie. And I would murder Rachel. Okay. She's just really not my type. And Edie had like kind of a slightly masked outfit on. I was like, oh, okay, I'm into her more.
You're like, yeah, she's going on there.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
Okay, I would merge with Luce as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would munch Rachel and murder Edie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
What would you rate this movie?
I really liked it, but it's not one of my favorites. But I did like it. So 4 out of 5 cherries.
Oh my God, same. Yeah, I couldn't give it a 5. I do like it. I think it's cute, and I like that it was kind of like a silly, stereotypical like rom-com type of thing with the whole like traffic and like the yell, like it was silly. But also I don't know, I'm not as into it as I would be to give it a 5. Yeah, so I give it a 4.
Agreed.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to take another break. And then we'll come back for our Dear Dykes segment.
Yeah.
So if you're enjoying But I'm a Lesbian, please head over to our Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook and follow to stay up to date on our newest episodes and hottest takes. See you in a little bit.
Welcome back. Today we are going to offer some advice to 2 listeners that wrote in for our Dear Dykes segment.
Dear Dykes, I need some advice. Dear Dykes, can you help me please? Dear Dykes, I need some advice. Dear Dykes, can you help me please? Dear Dykes.
Yes. Okay, this is really exciting. Also, we are silly and we found out from our producer on the break what the song was, and it's literally
Happy Together.
Yes, it goes.
Literally.
Imagine me and you.
You know, sometimes we don't connect the dots, and that's why we have our producer to fact check us. It's very much needed. Otherwise, Kayla and I would just be saying things.
Yes. Also, to be fair, when the guy is singing it on the bike, it sounds very different than the actual song. And then they play the song in the credits, and I remember they played the song in the credits, but I didn't realize that it was the same song the guy was singing.
I'm like, oh, how cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine them.
So I had to say it because people are probably like yelling at their phone, like, oh my God, it's obviously this. And we're like, I don't know.
Don't blame us because the guy was off key. So neither of us remembered. Okay?
No, it was a little pitchy for me. Anywho, okay, so Dear Dykes. So this is exciting because we have gotten a lot of people writing in. So we're so excited. So we chose 2 for today. So here is the first one. This is from Anonymous. They said, I broke up with my girlfriend in a not very mature way with no warning or anything, but I also didn't want to stay in a relationship I couldn't be fully in anymore. It was wrong and I feel bad, but I just knew it was not going to be right for me long term. I don't think she'll ever forgive me or understand. So, do you have any thoughts on this?
I feel like we need a lot more context, but I understand why the person wants to be anonymous. I don't want to necessarily like group them, but it sounds like they themselves maybe are young and, you know, that's just like they can acknowledge that it wasn't very mature, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I feel like this person just really wanted to get it off their chest. Yeah. And like, I guess, you know, at least tell somebody like what would they expect out of this? I feel like maybe moving forward in other relationships, like learn from this and not repeat the same mistakes. You know, you can't go back because even you think like she won't forgive you or understand, you can't go back and re-break up with this person and fix that, but you can change your actions moving forward. Yeah. That's my advice.
No, and sometimes it's hard because I notice that, you know, they say at the end, I don't think she'll ever forgive me or understand. And it can be hard, especially as lesbians. You hear people always being like, oh, I'm friends with my exes. Yeah. We're not all friends with our exes, but you know, some people are. But it's kind of hard, but you have to be okay with them not ever forgiving you or being in your life. Like they don't have to be. And I think that's something that's really hard to come to terms with, especially like if you knew them for a while, like even if you weren't dating for a long time, if they were in your life and you just like hope that they don't hate you forever. But you know, first of all, time heals all wounds. So they probably won't hate you forever. They just might be like over it and not want to have any sort of relationship at some point. But I think that it's hard because I think of a lot of the things that you always hear people feeling sorry, you know, for the person that gets dumped because it sucks to get dumped. But it also sucks to have to dump someone because you have to be the bad guy. Like, even if you try to be nice and you do it in a more mature way, it's still gonna suck for the person that gets dumped.
It does suck, but I think, again, like, right, there is a way to do things that this person didn't. And I feel like some advice from our producer is it's still worth apologizing, even if they don't forgive you, which I agree with.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't change it, but I mean, I think they would at least appreciate an apology.
Yeah. If they don't have you blocked and you can contact them in some way without like breaking the boundaries that they've set, it can't hurt to apologize. But something that is important to note is that they don't have to forgive you.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to be okay with that.
Yes. And that can be hard. And there could be a time, like it could be something where in the future, in years, they are over it. Yeah. But it could also not be that, you know? Yeah. Like, it's just hard. I think that is the struggle with relationships. But eventually they will probably be glad, right? Because if you weren't right for each other, they will hopefully find either a person that they are better fit for, or they will find other things in their life that they enjoy without a relationship and they're okay with it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard, but try not to beat yourself up too much. People do make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. We're not like perfect.
Angelina said. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I made really bad mistakes. I broke up with my wife at some point, and she's the best person I've ever met.
Yeah.
And that was stupid. And I feel bad about it still all the time, which is like so sad. It's like years and years later, and I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Why was I like
why
that?
did I do that?
So stupid. Anyway, it'll be okay, Anonymous.
It will.
Yes.
Just definitely reflect on your actions and let's do better, okay?
What? Yeah, do the shadow work on yourself. Like, why?
I know it's hard, but that's how you grow and that's how you become a better person.
For real.
So we have another person that wrote in. They did share their name. Their name is Nicole. They said, I feel like I fall in love with a new woman like every 3 to 4 days. Seriously. And then we talk for a few days and I lose interest. I know that makes me an evil lesbian. Do you guys think I can get over the evil lesbian phase, or is this like a permanent thing? Thoughts?
Okay. Is this person an Aquarius? Because this is like my life before my wife. I just, okay, and a Sag, both known for being like, I like to be free.
Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Along the way, I think we've learned things.
Yeah. Yes, but you know what? It is hard. And I think, here's the thing. You might get over it, and it might take a specific person, or it might just take maturing. But also, maybe that's just, maybe you're like a poly person and you don't know. Maybe like, I get it that you're like, I lose interest after a few days. So that's hard because you couldn't like maintain multiple poly relationships. But maybe it takes like a specific type of person that will hold your interest. Like maybe these people just haven't been the right person.
Yeah.
So I understand. I also used to.
I can get it. It's okay. We're just really excited about this topic.
Like, oh my God.
It was the evil lesbian.
Yes. No, I'm just also curious. I don't know if this person is straight or bi.
Oh, yes.
Or, no, they're a lesbian because they said in my
a new woman every
phase. Yeah. So, I don't know. I would always, like, I don't know if the losing interest is as extreme as this, but I would always, like, whenever I had a crush on someone when I was younger, I would, like, not just lose interest, but I would, like, get the ick. And it's not even something they specifically did. I would just have a flash in my mind of them, like, sitting on the toilet, like, pooping.
Oh, my God. It's, like, the worst.
I was like, ew.
You're like, I hate them now.
I was like, oh, and then like I couldn't like be attracted to them.
Oh my God.
But I think a lot of that is because maybe they weren't the right person, because like I've walked by when my wife has the door open and she's on the toilet and I'm not like, I am not attracted to you anymore.
You're
man.
like over.
Yeah. So it just, I don't think that this will be a permanent thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just that it might be a specific person or people that will keep your interest.
I agree. I feel like it also has to do with attachment styles, because it sounds like you fall like very, very fast. And then as soon as maybe, and I'm just guessing here, they, like you said, you lose interest, but maybe it's when they start reciprocating and they're showing you like the same level that you're like, no, I don't want it, you know? And I feel like that definitely has a lot to do with maybe like past relationships, whether it's like family, friends, whatever. Those really do shape how you are in a romantic relationship. So maybe look inwards with that. And I, like Caitlin said, I don't think it will last, or maybe you just need to do like casual dating and not like jump into like a relationship or have those expectations of like, you know, this is the person. And then you're like, oops, I lost interest.
Yeah.
It
can just, it can be really difficult.
Yeah, that's true. I think like lesbian relationships are very different, obviously, than straight relationships. We tend to fall deeply in love, and we get like very close super quickly because it's just like, it can be intense. I can see that.
My wife and I think officially started dating. Oh my God. I think I told her that I loved her after only like 2 weeks, maybe, because we started dating officially in March. And then I remember I went out with my friends on St. Patrick's Day because I was wearing green heels. And then that night we were making out and I was like, I have to tell you something, but I'm like scared.
Oh my God.
She was like, what? And I was like, never mind. And then she's like, what? And I was like, I love you.
Aww. What did she say?
I think she was like, I love you too. I was like, oh, my baby. She's so cute. But anyway, it is, point being, yes, things can happen really fast with any type of relationship. But yeah, oftentimes the lesbians. But just because you're losing interest doesn't mean that you're evil. I honestly feel like it's just that those haven't been the right people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Don't put so much, pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could just be cash.
It could. It could definitely be cash.
Be cash. Okay. I hope that this helped, Nicole.
And Anonymous.
Thank you so much to everyone that wrote in, and thank you to everyone for tuning in to But I'm a Lesbian. We're your go-to for sapphic media reviews, WLW drama, and unfiltered queer takes. If you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe on any platform that you're on. We would appreciate it, any of them. Leave us a review to help support the queer community and keep this lesbian-led pod thriving. After all, the algorithm's a bitch and we're just two lesbians with mics trying to survive.
Tune in next week for a new episode. We will be reviewing I Can't Think Straight, a 2008 British drama available on my favorite Tubi.
Yes, a Tubi film. Words are hard. I can't talk. Anywho,
That's okay.
I'm so excited. And so we will
see you next Tuesday.
Executive producers for But I'm a Lesbian are Caitlin Beatty and Angelina Herrera. Produced and mixed by Victoria Shiflett. Creative direction and video editing provided by Juanita Iriarte. Music by Stiletto Falsetto.